It's Panama coming in. That would have been good.
Them good
We don't have to
girls, straight
brag.
masterpiece. Hey, I love this song. Favorite song right here. Uptown Funk. Uptown Funk You Up. Uptown Funk You Up. That's the bring back into the studio music right now. So, hey, Rob, it's good to put you in the corner every once in a while. So it is, right? Yes, it's very hot over there, Rob. So
I have that effect.
Yes, that's what Joe does to everybody.
That's what happened.
So, Enid, well, let's first of all introduce you, by the way, because our listeners do not know who you are. So we have Enid Cleland. What's funny is Rob has always corrected me because growing up in Mexico, I'm always like Enid, right? So I've always said Enid, and he's like Enid. And I'm like, okay.
Well, I answer both ways, though.
Yeah, absolutely, right? Absolutely. So you had a question before we do so. Let us know a little bit about who you are and what you do, if you don't mind.
Well, I am a real estate agent as well, but I'm a very proud owner of my own firm now. We just started a couple of weeks ago, and I am very excited about it. The name of the firm is the RE Company, Luxury and International, and what we do, we work with international clients as well as Americans, and we do international and luxury.
That is awesome. That is really good. And, you have a question that you posed. We've tried to create that suspense during the break right there. But
some pros.
The question that you'd asked basically was in reference to security. One of the things that a lot of individuals, when they're buying in other countries,
they're very concerned
concerned about security. I thought that was great.
I live abroad, so I know. And when you go to different countries, people are very concerned. I am concerned when I travel.
Naturally.
So if you're going to put your money, what would I tell my clients? I said, okay, I don't know anything about Panama, so...
Right.
Yeah, exactly. It's usually the number one question that we receive, as well as healthcare costs and benefits, which Panama has excellent healthcare and it's extremely affordable. But in terms of safety and security, we have petty thefts. Obviously,
like everywhere.
The discrepancies in income, like
right.
everywhere. You don't leave your computer, for example, your laptop out next to your pool and go into your home.
Or in the front seat of your car when you're walking into the store or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. So those kinds of things. But no, Panama's very safe. I've actually lived in Panama for 12 years. I'm an American, and I have lived alone as a single female, young-ish, right? I still consider myself pretty young.
No, very, very young still, absolutely.
And I have never had any troubles in Panama. I walk at night, and I feel safe. I've traveled the entire country, walking, hiking, boat, bus, taxi, car, helicopter, you name it. I've done it by myself, and I've always felt extremely safe. Panamanians are very friendly. The men are caballeros, so they're gentlemen, and they'll open the door for you. Or if you're on the side of the road lost, somebody will pull over and help you. So it's a really nice culture. Yeah, no, we love it. As women, it's very nice.
I never understood. I've actually had women look at me like,
you can get a lot
how
done
dare
as
you
a
open the door
woman
for me?
in Panama.
I'm not joking. I'm like,
You
wow.
have that effect in women.
Yeah, I love that part of the culture.
Absolutely. And that's one of the things, I lived abroad, obviously, and grew up in Latin America.
I lived with abroad.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, me too. I live with several of them. But one of the things that we do see a lot of times, especially in your Latin American countries,
She will hit me later on.
you're going to see that chivalry in relationships. You're going to see that gentleman. You're going to see a lot of that. You're absolutely going to have. Have all that you mentioned. As you mentioned, it's quite nice. It's something that I enjoy doing, and a lot of times it's something that the ladies enjoy having done. A door being open for them.
Here, let me help you carry this. Let me help you with your bags. And Jose just pointed out that we do have tourist police. So we have police that specifically work and help tourists.
Right.
So if you're lost on the side of the road or whatnot, it's really accommodating.
Here we refer to those as mall cops.
And most people speak English, which is huge for someone moving abroad. Am I going to be able to get what I need? Am I going to be able to be understood? It's very frustrating to be an adult and not be able to get what you need and communicate with someone else when you're educated and you're an adult, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, and Joe almost speaks English, so, he can relate to that very well up here.
Working on it.
Yeah, it's a great country. It's extremely accommodating to foreigners.
First is true, and one of the people that Enid deals with, now they're in the same position we are going to Panama. They're coming here. What are the number one concerns people coming in to buy? What's their number one concern coming here?
I think it's the currency, actually. One of the concerns is that if they will have enough money, it depends on the dollar, if it's up and down. Right now, for example, the dollar is very high, so it's a good opportunity to buy abroad. But I would say that's one of the main things that they're thinking. Can I afford this?
And I think you're absolutely right. I'll give you an example. I had a client that was moving to Austin, buying a multi-million-dollar property. It was under contract.
Which is like a foreign country, yes.
Yes, exactly. But they're moving from Canada. And he ended up, it was actually going to be cheaper for him right now not to buy that property because the Canadian dollar versus the U.S. dollar has had such a it has
Yes.
increased so much that in order for him to buy that property here, he was going to take a big tax loss in Canada, and then on top of that, take the exchange rate difference that has happened because the dollar is so strong against a lot of other
At the
currencies.
moment, yes.
And
Canada, that's north of Dallas, isn't it?
That is correct, absolutely.
Kind of. Yeah.
So just a little bit,
Just
by
checking.
the way. But we're seeing that a lot with a lot of countries in which the dollar has really strengthened. I mean, obviously Russia for a long time was coming in and buying a lot of real estate in the United States.
East of Beaumont.
That is correct.
was-
And now what you're seeing is because of that same currency exchange issue and a lot of things with the ruble and everything that's going on right there, they can't come in and buy like they used to.
Well, but there's still a lot of investment here.
Oh,
And
yes.
we also deal with a lot of people that live in United States that are paid in U.S. dollars. And big part of my business is that people are
Yes.
that people who, for example, there could be Egyptians, Indians, Middle Easterns. They all, they work here. They could be professionals. They're doctors. They're lawyers. People from Mexico. So
Yes.
they get paid in dollars. So they use the money to invest in the States. And we have seen, sometimes I look at my board, and we were kidding about this about a month ago, and it looks like United Nations because you see the name of the people and you say, oh my goodness, all these people are really not, they're not Betty or Joe, they're
Right.
different names. So it's really interesting seeing the mix.
Average Joe.
Yeah, not an
Exactly.
average Joe right there. One of the things, and we say this all the time, Houston is probably the epitome of what a melting pot is.
It is.
If you were to grab any city, and I would venture to say this, and I said this multiple times, you can grab anything from New York City to Los Angeles, and I would venture to say that Houston is the largest and most diverse cultural center that we have in the United States.
Yeah. Well, Fort Bend County was actually counted to have the most culturally diverse county in America, period.
Fort Bend County.
Fort Bend County.
That's
I mean, so, and it just goes to show because we do have, and I don't want to mislead anybody, real estate in Houston is strong.
Amazing. It's amazing right now. So I would say it's still, I would say I will encourage people to buy because we have an advantage also on the interest, and you can attest to this.
Yes.
We have low interest rates right now. So it's the moment to get what you can buy now. You might not be able to buy it tomorrow. We don't know. You will pay less now for a property than what you will be paying maybe in a year or so. So this is a great time to buy if that's one of the reasons.
I would agree. I think interest rates one. And what are people looking for? And when they're coming here to town, what's attracting them to the Houston market and to the Houston investment from an international perspective?
I would say one of the things that they really like is the situation with the jobs. People feel that there's a wealth of jobs here. So it's very easy for people from other countries and from other states to get a job here.
Right.
And also the cost of living versus the cost of living somewhere else. We're having people, like I had people from California moving here, from New York, and they cannot believe what they can buy You know, they could have an apartment at a 500 square feet apartment, and here they can have a 2,000 square feet house. So I think the size of the houses also, they like it. Although we're seeing a shift right now with the millennials as well. But I think jobs and schools.
Jobs and schools, you know, and I would absolutely agree. I actually lived in New York City for a year, and I will tell you,
you did?
It is,
Me
yes,
too.
it is absolutely ridiculous, the rent. And this is way back in '95. I can't even imagine what it's like today. Back in '95, as you mentioned, for a little box, I was paying like $3,000 a month on the Upper West Side.
You lived in New York?
Yes, for 1 year.
Do you know a guy named Steve? No.
I remember him.
Yeah.
Yes. So,
That's true.
but it's one of those things, as you mentioned, is great things that you brought up. Interest rates extremely low. Inventory is still really good out there. Cost of living for Houston, especially somebody the size that we are, and even though you see some changes associated with the price of oil, remember one thing: Houston is not all oil based. In fact, our number one employer is healthcare. So
some of it's vinegar based.
Yes, exactly. So it is vinegar based right there. So if you look at it, if you look at where we stand from a Houston perspective, it's absolutely amazing. So
we're very
these
blessed.
cheesy jokes brought to you by Joe Orsack.
But we are blessed here because we have so much. We have the universities. That's a lot of people come here, and we see a lot of foreigners also buying properties for their kids. We have Chinese people buying apartments for their kids because they're coming to U of H or Rice University is amazing. Right. So we have a lot of doctors coming here from other places too because we have Baylor. So there's so many things going on at the same time here that
I would absolutely agree. You know, we're going to continue to talk about a lot of other stuff that's going on here in Houston, but unfortunately we have to take a little break right now. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
The man in the moon is smiling 'cause he's in love with the girl in the